vibration of what could be our mental clarity, of our emotional balance, our emotional well-being, of our physical well-being. And what I've been receiving this message from the Arcturians, who are very benevolent, pure, loving, higher dimensional star beings, is how there are so many energies that affect us, the energies of people we're in relationships with, friends, family, co-workers, romantic relationships, the energy of the collective, that so much is up for people right now. And when the energy field isn't strong, we don't feel truly safe because we're being bombarded by these energies. And that affects our autonomic nervous system. It affects the vagus nerve. It can leave people feeling too much in that sympathetic mode because they're always on guard with these really intense energies that I know a lot of people have been feeling. Even this last weekend was Saturn kind of at odds with Venus,
Hmm.
and that frequency was causing people to be a little bit emotionally unstable and lashing out at people. And I was hearing that happen a lot too. And when we can feel that our energy field and the seven layers of this energy field that represent these different aspects of our well-being, from the astral body to the mental body to our connection with our higher selves, when we feel really strong and protected in that energy, that's when our nervous system can really unwind and we can enter that state of self-healing. And I'm so excited for this time together and to dive into this because it's really a deep topic.
It really is. And I've never seen it discussed or brought forward in the way that we're going to do this today, because you're not just looking at it from the standpoint of manifesting more or having a happier life. You're looking at it as this can create potential serious physical conditions and breakdowns, because these systems, the auric system and the nervous system, they are connected. And we're going to get into this. And it's really, really interesting. And it's also really important right now because you probably noticed there's a lot of people leaving the planet. There's a lot of people getting all sorts of challenges health wise that you would never expect. And Gil just wrote into us, and we're going to hopefully get Gil on the line. So, Gil, I would recommend like raise your hand if you can. He says, lots of low vibration energy coming from others. I feel my aura is broken right now and stressed. So, we are going to dive into that. But, Hillary, for people that are not familiar with you or your story, you were dealing with some challenges from energy, perhaps imbalance or aura tears, and it was really affecting your whole body systems. It sounded like.
Yes, I've had many experiences throughout my lifetime with this, of really being brought back to how important it is that our energy field, which holds the template for our physical well-being, mental well-being, emotional well-being, and growing up, I feel like what some of you are sharing about having that sort of lashing out, that's one of the experiences that I had growing up. My mom was an addict, and I experienced a lot of trauma, and she was very, very abusive to me. And I
Mm.
felt that energy of constantly being under attack by these volatile energies, which I know were entities that were with her, that she actually has a beautiful heart, but it was these entities. And so many
Mm.
times I've had these moments throughout the years of overwhelm, or feeling like I'm bombarded with these certain frequencies. And in that, I had adrenal fatigue, so much nervous system dysregulation. At one point, I had 5 years of chronic fibromyalgia and such intense
Wow.
pain in all of my joints that I could hardly even walk a block.
Can I
And
ask you a question real quick, Hillary? Sorry to
yes.
jump in. So the auric field issues, the attacks that were coming through, they created this fibromyalgia. There's so much pain you could hardly walk. How many years ago was that? I mean, you're a fairly young person. I mean, this was, not a normal thing for someone.
Yeah.
How old were you when that was going on?
I'm
If you don't
40
mind me
years
asking.
I'm
Yeah.
40 years old now. I just turned 42 months ago, and this started
Yay.
when I was 28 and lasted for around 4 to 5 years.
What I
Before that, I
figured.
used to run miles a day. I had a very advanced yoga practice. I was very fit, very
Wow.
flexible. And I went from that, from hardly being able to walk, because that's how my body had to process out all of these attacks that I had experienced growing up. And it really wasn't until I began working more deeply with the Arcturians, who really specialize in working with the nervous system, but also the energy field, because they're the master healers of our galaxy, and they see what humanity is suffering the most with, and they want to support us with this, with really pure frequency, crystalline frequency, harmonic frequency. But when I learned this technique, the entire process they taught me on how I can rebuild each level of my energy field,
Hmm.
I feel so well physically now. I feel strong. I'm not in pain anymore. I've healed
Wow.
so many of these health issues. And
Wow.
also now I have more discernment when these energies come up where I'm not bombarded with them, that ability to discern, like, wait, I don't think this is my energy. I even had that experience a couple weeks ago, this repetitive thought, like, I hate my life, I hate my life. And I was going through a little bit of overwhelm at the time, and had a lot on my plate at that moment. And then as I tuned in, I'm like, this is not
Wow.
my thought. This is not my energy. This is that fourth dimensional consciousness, and how many
Mhm.
people are thinking this thought. And my overwhelm allowed me to be vulnerable to it. And then when I recognized it, I was able to clear that frequency out of my field and re-strengthen my field. So, yeah, from feeling overwhelmed, from having negative thoughts, to physical health issues, emotional issues, I've experienced it all. I've been through the ringer in this lifetime, I feel. And it's so wonderful to be able to work with guides and healing technology that can be so supportive, because I know how difficult these things are, from the physical, emotional, mental, all that we experience on Earth. It's an intense planet and it's an intense time.
Yeah, there's so many points I want to make on this, but one thing is like here you're hearing these thoughts come in, and I want to ask the question, have any of you been having like certain negative thoughts come in that just feel really negative and you're like, where did these come from? Let me know in the chat. You don't need to say what they were, but does this resonate? Let us know. And I got to be honest, I mean, I'm going to be a little bit in people's face today because I do not think this is something you play around with. We are in a spiritual, you want to say arm wrestling match, if you like that word, a spiritual, sumo wrestling match, whatever. We have been since this planet was, fallen or whatever you want to call it. But they are beings, they're entities that do not want you to shine your light. They do not want you to be healthy. They do not want you to exist. They want to take the God light from you and snuff it out for eternity. I know that sounds scary. I know that sounds a little troubling, but you have to understand they are not playing to where like they just kind of want to irritate you. If they had 100% power of you, you would not be here. And so just think, when these things affect our energy, it's not just how we feel, it is affecting our body. And Hillary, I got a quick question about this. So why is it that you said, Nick, when you were growing up, you had this situation with your mom and you were okay, right? Until about like 28. What do you think caused that cascade to where it just manifested into fibromyalgia? Because you'd been dealing with things for a good bit. And I ask this because a lot of people might be all of a sudden finding that something just out of the blue is like manifesting into a condition. What sort of brings it into the physical like that when it's been in the etheric for so long?
For me personally, I began my spiritual awakening when I was 17 years old, 23 years ago. So, up until that point, I was in survival and I was in fight or flight. When I began my spiritual awakening, I had what ended up being an 11-year long period where I needed to increase my light quotient to a level that I could go back and face what I had experienced. So I
Mm,
spent around 11 years, let's say, more as a light chaser. I used to tell people I had a wonderful childhood. I, for 11 years, was not yet prepared to turn around and face everything that I had experienced because it was so deep and gut-wrenching for me. It wasn't until that point when I was 28 years old or about to turn that age that I decided I was ready to heal from my childhood trauma. And that's when the cascade of physical health symptoms I
Mm,
had. Also, because I did go do an advanced yoga teacher training in Rishikesh, India, and I got food poisoning, and 2 weeks later, I had strep throat, and I lost all motor function, and I ended up being pumped full of antibiotics and IVs twice within a few week period, and that kind of unlocked my body's ability to start releasing all of this deep cellular trauma. And I thought that I could, at that time, I may have been a little bit naive, but I thought I could process through it maybe in a couple months' time. And it unlocked what ended up being a 7 year journey of pretty much
wow.
chronic pain and health conditions and really, but that's my experience. That won't be everyone else's experience. But that's why at that point, once it was time to release from the cells, once it was time to release from the energy field, all of the deep pain that I had kind of covered over with the light, maybe put the light on top of and wasn't ready to look at yet, then everything activated for me. And now I couldn't be more grateful for all of it.
Yeah.
But that's sometimes what happens. Sometimes we're in that sympathetic response where we're just surviving and getting through, but then maybe we'll have an opportunity, we'll
Mm.
meet someone who makes us feel safe, we'll go into healing, we'll finally be ready to process what the deeper pain that we weren't ready to process previously.
Yeah, and that may be why a lot of people are now confronted with it. I mean, your story makes a lot of sense. Like it's been there, it's been there. Now you start wanting to work on it. You start expecting things to shift, and it's like, okay, now you have to work with it. And then if you have to work with it, you've got a weakened auric field. That can be a real issue. So, you say that a weakened auric field or holes in the aura can actually increase our susceptibility to physical issues in the body. What does that mean, and why is that?
That's such an important question. And as I was tuning in with this, with the Arcturians, and just to briefly go back what you said about
Yeah.
these beings that maybe that do not have the best intention for humanity, that's when the Arcturians first came to me. And they are, I believe, and was shown that Jesus was an Arcturian. They work with the blue
Mm,
ray. They're very connected to Archangel Michael. They are the keepers of pure spirit and higher
mm.
consciousness. And they came and they said, we know what these influences are doing to the aura of humanity. We know what it's doing to the
Wow.
nervous system. And that's why we want to train you to work within the crystal chambers to learn these processes to support humanity through that because they're master healers, but masters of ascension. And they knew that these things were influencing and slowing down our ascension. And a few of what they shared with me is how, especially if there's issues in the first layer, which is connected to the physical body, the etheric layer, and the
Mm,
emotional layer, this this can cause overstimulation, which when we're too much in that sympathetic nervous system, the body really can't heal. So this is where it's burnout, adrenal fatigue, chronic stress, tension, just feeling completely uptight, completely unhappy when there is weakness or cords or tears within those first two layers. Within the mental layer, which is the third layer, and especially the etheric template, which is the fifth layer, if there's weakness there, that can cause issues with the HPA axis, the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. So,
okay.
this is where people can experience hormonal issues, emotional overwhelm, too high of cortisol. There are so many, they showed me in many different layers, like in the astral layer and the celestial layer, if those areas are there's cords or weakness in there, this is where it can trigger the limbic system. It can really cause anxiety. It can cause mental fogginess where we just don't
Wow.
feel clear. There are other layers, like in the first layer and also the fifth layer, when there's issues within those layers that disrupts the vagus nerve and that can cause inflammation. It can cause all of these digestive issues, that was a big part of my journey too, was
Okay.
just years of digestive issues. So there's the different layers of the aura, but the aura as a whole can be so affected. And when there are these thought forms, these energies, these cords, these attachments within these layers have such a huge effect on the vagus nerve, on the digestive system, on the hormones. And I kept being shown that when we don't feel safe and energetically protected, how our physical bodies, then that layer of protection we have around ourselves, when that's weakened, the physical body is being affected by these energies, but the physical body also isn't being given the opportunity to spend enough time in the parasympathetic mode where the body heals itself, its innate healing mode.
I am blown away because I don't think I've ever heard that there are so many layers of our auric field. Like I said, we are going to cover this in a way that I don't know has ever been covered. Hillary gets information from these higher beings, the Arcturians. So they've kind of laid out a roadmap that I've never heard before. And I don't want to take a ton of time going through each layer, but I kind of do want to go through each layer. Can you tell us, like, really quickly, one or two, three word sentences, um, the layers, maybe 1 through 6, and kind of what you see, because I don't know if we've ever unpacked this on the show. I just hear, oh, well, your aura. I didn't know there's like 6, 7, 8 layers. Can you walk through that real quick, Hillary? And as we do, we are going to at some point unmute callers. We're going to kind of look at your aura, hopefully, and Hillary is, and see maybe if one of these layers might be something that you want to focus some time to repair, to build, to restore, to renew. But Hillary, walk through the layers. This is fascinating.
Yes, quickly. So the closest layer to the physical body, that etheric layer, represents the body's vitality, the physical health. From there, the second layer is the emotional layer. So that's where we can hold stuck emotions, our emotional
Okay.
well-being. The third layer from the physical body is the mental layer. So this is where we can be affected with our mental clarity. The fourth layer, connected to the heart chakra from the physical body, is the astral layer.
Okay.
And this really can affect our relationships, our ability for empathy and connection. Then, as we go higher, just like the chakra systems, we have the lower three that are very earthly, and then the heart's the bridge. And then we go into the spiritual. The aura works that way as well too, where the fifth layer is the
Mm.
etheric template layer, and this is really the divine blueprint, the energetic blueprint of the physical body,
Wow.
expression, communication. The sixth layer is the celestial layer, so this is our intuition, our higher consciousness, and the final layer is the etheric template, so this is about our divine connection and our soul's purpose. So each one of the layers, depending on how strong they are, when they can be weakened, they can grow closer into the body, but when they go stronger, each can be a foot or even more. And
Wow.
then they build upon each other like a rainbow, going from the closest in, representing the physical body, to the highest layer out.
Amazing. I don't know how you remembered all that. And what was the seventh layer called? The Kit Auric? What did you say?
The Ketheric
Etheric. Yeah.
template layer. So this layer is connected to the crown chakra, etheric template, and this is the layer that unifies all layers. When this layer is really strong and protected, it's holding the protection for every inner layer as well too, but every layer affects each other. If you're going through physical health challenges, that means that there is an issue in the first layer of the aura, and then that's affecting every layer out. Just like if there was an issue in the seventh layer, that's affecting every layer in, because it's like a rainbow of frequency. Each one builds upon each other.
Really amazing. I had never heard of the etheric template and some of these other layers. Amazing. And it sounds like if we're really in a healthy flow field state, if each layer is about 1 foot or more, we should have at least a 7 foot, 8 foot auric shield around us. And if any of you are calling in and you want some help, might be interesting to ask how big Hillary observes your auric field right now. Is it 7, 8, 10, 12, 20 feet? Or is it way diminished, or these layers blending? And is that maybe why you're having challenges in different areas? So let us know. If you'd like some time with Hillary, go ahead and raise your hand. You can go to React. It's pretty amazing. Wow. Cortisol, nervous system, vagus nerve. Explain a little bit about these mechanisms as they relate to our body's natural healing ability.
That's such an important question. So the whole theme of this call today is really the autonomic nervous system and the aura. In that autonomic nervous system, we have the sympathetic mode, which is fight, flight, freeze, fawn. This is when we're reacting to life, when we're being bombarded with life. What are we going to do? Are we going to freeze? Are we going to fight? Are we going to run away? Are we going to fawn, which means people please in order to feel safe in a situation? Then the other aspect, the counter of the sympathetic, is the parasympathetic. This is where the body is at ease, where it feels safe, where you're able to digest. And I always love that innate healing ability. The body has an innate healing ability within this mode. The vagus nerve is the longest cranial nerve in the body, which originates at the medulla oblongata and then moves along the neck. There's like branches of a tree around the heart and lungs and branches of a tree around the digestive organs. So the vagus nerve really helps us bring us into that sympathetic or parasympathetic. But when we're in one of those reactionary responses, it affects our heart rate, our heart coherence, our breath, our lungs. It affects our ability to digest and receive nutrients from the food. So it's very, very
Mm.
interconnected. And our aura is our first energetic system of response, of that affects the autonomic nervous system of, do we feel safe to relax and heal? Or do we feel like we need to be in these programs where we're fighting life, running away from life, trying to people please our
Mm.
way through lives, frozen in our lives, which when we spend too much time in those programs within the sympathetic, that's when all of these health issues, either phantom health issues, things that just come up out of nowhere, or long-standing health issues, aren't able to heal.
Yeah, and then you add in the wrinkle that anybody that's tuning into this show, anybody that's gotten one of our emails or plugged into any of the amazing guests that we have on the show, you're kind of at a level where, yes, you're more sensitive, you have maybe these psychic superpowers, or you're starting to activate this new awareness, but there's also that sensitivity that means you might also have some of the negative effects more than the normal person who just, doesn't really pay attention to anything. They may be woefully unaware, but they also may not be as open to what's around them, right? So what happens with sensitive souls, with sensitive beings?
Aura care is the most important for empathic ones, for highly sensitive people. Once you've started doing spiritual work and you can
Mm.
tune into the energy, that's when this level of protection is even more important. And I feel like why the Arcturians want to bring these healing processes for the aura, for the nervous system, to the people who are doing the spiritual work, because it is so important that we continue shining our light and being who we truly are and being healthy enough to fulfill our mission, as opposed to being bombarded by all of these energies, which end up impacting all parts of ourselves, including our health.
Yes, I agree. I think it's definitely a challenge where you see more and more people that have become spiritually aware kind of breaking down. I see a lot of healers that even come on our show, and or they're invited and then they die. I mean, I've had this happen. I mean, we've had lost a lot of healers over the years, and unfortunately, they're not living even as long as I see people that maybe aren't as aware. So this era of this area of aura care, this area of aura repair, and understanding these levels of the aura is critical, especially for people like you, me, and everyone here. Tell me a little bit about some of the solutions because we're going to dive into some callers here in a moment. But one of the things the interesting Arcturians have been doing is something called crystal chambers and pods and different etheric, they're non-physical, but they're non-physical soul healing energetic concentrations that reach people and create shifts. What are they doing in these and what are they all about?
That's such a great question. The Arcturians are really, they work with so many beings of light. They work with the angels, with the archangels, with the goddesses. They work with the masters, and they're just playing this huge role in helping humanity's healing and ascension. One time I even received the message and got confirmed that when these forces that do not want the best for humanity, they're afraid of the Arcturians, even though the
Mm,
Arcturians are so pure, so joyful, so loving, but they have such advanced technology because they work with crystalline technology. So they're constantly beaming crystal light to support the grid of the earth, the crystalline grid, the Christed grid, the ley lines. They're sending these crystalline beams of light into places on earth like Stonehenge, the pyramids of Giza, Mount Shasta. And they're able to send this technology. So they have these pods that are like crystal chambers that are advanced crystalline healing that's working with harmonic crystalline living light. One, we have the ability to astral travel directly into these pods, but
mm,
two, we can connect with the crystal chambers on the orange giant, the star Arcturus, within our Milky Way galaxy, which is the Arcturians' home. But they also have a fleet of light ships that are crystalline powered. They're organic organism, they're not solid. And on the mothership, the starship Athena, on this whole fleet of light ships, they have these crystal chambers as well, and they're able to beam the technology around us. And what they would show me were these fields. Imagine each one of the fields is probably about a foot and a half, but it's a field of crystalline living liquid light. And when they would beam it down, it would form in front of the recipient, below them, behind them, above, on
mm.
the left and right. So you're literally fully held within the crystal chamber. And then they trained me in specific technology, a 7-step process to repair each level of the aura, working with crystalline frequencies, rose frequencies, with Vogel wands, photon light, plasma light, and really clearing out the gunk, clearing out the attachments, clearing out these, just that intensity of so many people purging the shadows. And it's very, very deep work. It's very, very pure and incredibly loving, powerful but gentle. It really helps people feel more like their true selves.
Wow. Okay, we're gonna get into this, but Vogel wands, chambers, light resets. What have you seen happen with people? I mean, you've been working not just in the realm of I want you to feel better, right? You've been working with a lot of people who've had a very uh challenging endocrine disrupting situations in their life. What are some of your favorite shifts and transformations, and what have you seen happen with some of your wonderful clients?
I've seen slow of regression of masses in the lungs. I've seen people who had chronic pain and went to every chiropractor and physical therapist finally feel good in their backs again. I've seen people, one client that I had in California, and she was in such a state of anxiety, and her vagus nerve was so stimulated. And I've seen her just feel, after feeling tension around her heart in this state of anxiety, her pretty much her entire life just feel free to be herself again and be in this state of ease, and in that heal really long-standing digestive issues.
Wow.
So from almost anything that I can think of, physically and even mentally and emotionally as well too, but I've seen so many miracles.
Amazing. We're going to dive into more of these stories because if you feel like something is off or something is sort of hijacking your energy field because maybe one of these seven auric layers is off, is torn, is somehow being affected. Wow, we've got some big solutions today. So, Hillary, I want to go to some callers because I know there are a lot of people that are dealing with things. Go ahead and raise your hand, go to React. I feel like I'm already buzzing. Like this is like tomorrow's technology today. I mean, or it's this ancient technology that we're going to experience today, but pretty amazing stuff. God, I could go in 100 directions, right? The Arcturians is Christed energy and what this all means and healings and wow. All right, but let's go to some callers. I know y'all are here for some support. I love it. I mean, this is just like literally amazing. Let's see who we've got. And I'm going to dive in here. And well, Lib, you got your video already on. Let's go to Lib. Send you an unmute request. She's so beautiful. We got to put her on. Come on, Liv. Let me see how I get. There you go. Let me see.
Hi.
Hey, how's it
Hi, can you hear
going?
me?
I
I'm doing
can.
great. Thank you. Thank you. I'm really interested in this because I've always, I've had contact with the Arcturians, and I even did something where you can pay to find out, well, which star seed family are you from, and all this, and it always says Arcturians, Arcturians, Arcturians. So I'm really curious about this, and also I feel like for many years I've been dealing with feeling like, I have nightmares where I'm being attacked, or just
Hmm.
out in the world. I feel like there's constant struggle where it shouldn't be struggle, or just I can sense, and I'm really sensitive to energy, and I just always feel something going on or something happening, or even when I clairaudient, I can hear certain things. I'm like, those aren't my thoughts. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what's going on.
Wow.
You
Wow.
are an
So,
Arcturian star seed for sure. Many listening are. That's why they felt called to. So many of us have had past lifetimes in Arcturus, and that's why the Arcturians are also so committed to supporting us because we're their soul family too. But right away, they said the sixth layer, the celestial layers. This layer, it makes sense because that's the layer that's really connected with spiritual vision, with intuition, with dreams. That there has been some interference from that layer. What there, some like toxic energy from some different men that you've been in encounter with throughout your lifetime, but also
Okay.
just certain constructs of thought forms, even as you mentioned, things that you know that these are not your own thoughts, but some
Absolutely.
toxic thought forms have penetrated. They're showing me actually half of that layer has been penetrated by this. And
Okay.
if you they will begin supporting you in really clearing that out, and they want you to know that you have the support in clearing that out because your psychic gifts, your intuitive gifts will really be next level, and not in the seeing scary things way, but in
Right.
really feeling connected to the angelic realm, to the Arcturians, to source, to God in a
Right,
different
because
way.
I'm sorry. Thank you. Because I'll see things, and then in fact I believe I've normally I'll journey, sort of astro project, and I'll be in Arcturus. But sometimes I'll just be meditating, just regular, and I feel like I'm seeing Arcturians.
mm,
But I have to remind myself, remember what you're seeing, because for some reason, once all of this interference I felt started happening, I had three concussions back to back, and I can't remember everything like I used to be able to. So I'll see maybe sacred geometry. I tell myself when I'm in the middle of, maybe, let's say it's loose, I don't know, I was gonna say lucid dreaming, but I'm meditating, and it'll say, I'll think to myself, remember this, try to remember this, but then when I'm out of it, I maybe only remember one thing. And I feel like that's a part of it too, a part of the interference, so that I can't remember or can't get the lesson or message that I'm supposed to receive.
It is like hijacking it, it's suctioning it out, like it comes in and then it's trying to take it away from you. And this celestial layer, the sixth layer, is connected to the third eye chakra, so it can bring that when there's issues with this layer, issues with brain fog, with memory recall. So
Yes. Okay. Okay. So you have a program that you're selling that. that you're promoting that will deal with this or help deal with
Yes.
this with their, okay, so I'm definitely getting this. Absolutely. Thank you so much. I
Thank
really
Thank you,
you.
appreciate
It
Lib.
will
it.
be so
Mhm.
helpful for you. It goes through each layer is the full process on every single layer. But then there's also the 7 layers of energetic protection, which we'll talk about in just a little bit. But I wanted to share with everyone that I've created many programs and this is the one I use more than anyone. Before any time I'm going on a summit, before any time I'm connecting with a big
Mm.
group or a crowd, I do the 7 layers of energetic protection, which brings in the rose frequencies, the crystalline frequencies, the guardian frequencies like Archangel Michael and Kuan Yin to support every single layer. So once each layer is fully repaired, then there's this continued support for each layer. And I just feel that's going to be incredible for you, Lib. So thank you for sharing. And I'm so excited for those insights that you received to stay with you and benefit
Thank
others.
you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Lib. I welcome to the program. I want to go to Gil, who wrote into us early. And Gil, I haven't forgotten about you. What's going on, my friend? Sending Gil an unmute
Hi,
request here.
sorry.
Hi, Gil. Let's see. There we
Sorry, it's
are.
Jill. Being
Oh, Jill,
British,
I'm sorry. Well,
it's
there
okay.
you go.
Not quite a fish. Oh, what's going on? Everything. A lot going on around here at the moment, and a lot of people around me behaving very strangely. Um, I'm dealing with a lot. I'm dealing with my beloved mother's estate at the moment, but people around me are melting and dissolving into really weird energies. Um, I just feel like there's a total attack going on externally. I don't know, it's just very hard. I think there's a lot of overwhelm, um, very mixed emotions, of course, for me, but for everybody else.
Oh,
Weird.
I'm sending you so much love and to everything that you've been experiencing. And the second you spoke, they shared there is some weakness in the 7th layer, but the main layer is the emotional layer. And you're processing your own emotions, but then absorbing the emotions and the imbalances of others. So, what they're wanting to do, one, there's a specific rose ray. So the rose is the highest living vibration. It's the highest vibration in the plant kingdom, but it's worked with cosmically. The Arcturians love working with the rose because it's like an energetic vacuum. That for that emotional layer, there is a 7 step process, but two of the frequencies is the orange ray rose, which has that beautiful like sherbet sunset frequency, and the moonstone frequency, the orange moonstone. So we're going to support you now, Jill. I'm asking the Arcturians to place 100 orange ray roses within the 2nd layer of your aura, the emotional layer, and begin vacuuming any emotions, any meltdowns, any energies that don't belong to you. We're calling in the crystal chamber light. And in that, we're calling in the energy of the orange moonstone. The moonstone crystal is the most emotionally balancing and stabilizing. And they're even showing that orange moonstone, the crystalline liquid light, really repairing, especially the outer edges of your emotional layer. And those orange ray roses will vacuum out, continue vacuuming out, and you hold that intention that you're asking that all that does not belong to you, all of the emotional debris of others, all of the overwhelm and imbalance of others is being vacuumed out by the roses. 2 more breaths. You're doing wonderfully. They're collecting them up. And now we'll collect up all of the roses. We're going to thank these 100 orange ray roses and push them 1,000 feet out into the energy field, exploding them like golden fireworks. And then let us know how you're feeling, Jill, because I'll be holding intention for so much support for this emotional layer in your whole energy field, which really has gone through a lot recently.
Thank you.
How you
Just
feeling, Joe?
feels like warm energy. It's
Hmm.
um, it's beautiful. I,
Nice.
I yes, it's beautiful. I'm curious about the first level as well. Um, but it's lovely that it has nothing's been picked up there, so that's wonderful. And I know
Hmm.
my own emotions are affecting the first level of the aura field. But no, thank you. That was beautiful.
How big was her aura before? How many feet, Hillary, were you noticing, and where is it maybe now, or where's it moving to now?
I was sensing about 6.5 feet, but it is moving closer to the 8 feet.
Okay,
There
good.
was there was some effect in the first layer that connected to the physical body, but it wasn't the number one contributor for what you're experiencing right now, for what you're experiencing within yourself and others. It was the emotional layer and then some weakness in that seventh layer, the etheric template layer. But we're really holding and setting this intention for all of the layers to grow and be strengthened into their full vitality. And working with this program, I know will be so beneficial. Each one of the sessions is absolutely blissful. They're one of my favorite
Wow.
things to do.
Wow.
Sounds
Okay. Thank you, Jill. We're going to go to another caller. I know a lot of people need support. So her auric field's now much bigger, and getting more to that level that you said is kind of where it needs to be, about a foot each of these different 7 layers, which to me is mind blowing. I said, we've never covered this before, never. And I find it to be incredible that they've shown you this template. They've shown you kind of this diagram that is optimal for this time, and also for our evolution, for our ascension, for moving beyond all those things that can hold us back, because the emotion, the heart, the mental bodies, all of this is tied to our quality of life on earth. But let's go to another caller, because I know a lot of folks want some time with Hillary. She's amazing. I'm going to go to Shelly. You're the first one who raised your hand. So, Shelly, thank you for being early and getting in front of the queue. I jumped around a little bit. Are you there? Are we able to hear you, Shelly? Let's see. Shelly, are you there? Okay, there we go. Shelly? Yeah, Shelly's unmuted.
Hello.
Hello, how are
Hello. Can you
you?
hear me?
Sure can.
Hello.
Yeah, we sure can hear
Yeah.
you.
Hello.
Yep, we can hear you.
Unbelievable. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I.
Yeah, we're getting some issues. Shelly, if you would like to maybe type in what's going on, and then I can have Hillary take a look. So interesting. I'm going to go to another guest here. I'm going to go to Kit, Kit. Kit, well, that was fast. How are you, Kit?
Fine. Thank you, Darius. And thank you for your work in the world. I have followed
No.
you since back in the days when you had a co host. And
Oh,
Hillary,
wow. Going all the way
yeah,
back.
yeah,
Yeah.
long time. You bring so much light into the planet. So grateful for you. And Hillary, I heard an interview you did on a different platform in, I believe it was May or June. And after experiencing your guided group process, I effortlessly released 20 pounds. So I know
Ooh.
that your work is profound. What I would appreciate support with, two things. One, in my healing practice over the weekend, I was clearing out layers of my consulting practice and discovered 9 disruptive implants and some dark forces. So I would love making sure that all of my other layers are intact, and anything in my emotional layer that might be giving, some Velcro to anything is disrupted. That's the first request. And the second one is I have the wonderful experience of having fallen in love with a man I was in law school with 50 years ago. So I would also love all of my layers to be at the optimum frequency for the delightful unfolding of this relationship.
Oh, that's a wonderful kit. And that's why it made sense that they kept saying astral layer, heart chakra when
Mm.
you first started talking, even though there are um there's definitely, we'll call those orange ray roses into your emotional layer too. And everyone listening who wants to receive the 100 orange ray roses into the emotional layer will come in. But what the Arcturians are showing me is that when you are of such great service while you're sleeping, and sometimes you're astral traveling to go help areas where help is needed. And in that, there were some negative influences where you picked up those implants. So we're going to now bring the soft pink rose ray and the Palo Santo frequency and call upon Mother Mary to support not only your astral layer, astral body, but also your heart chakra. So let's call in 100 soft pink ray roses all throughout this fourth layer of the energy field. We call in the frequency of the holy wood of the Palo Santo to bring the purifying essence with the soft pink rose ray. And we call in the love and protection of Mother Mary. Mother Mary's the guide that always steps forward with her deep connection with the heart chakra and the astral body. They're celebrating that you were able to release those 20 pounds and how quickly you can heal. And they're really priming your field and your heart for this beautiful love relationship, which will be unfolding with many miracles.
Wow.
We're
Wow.
repairing and strengthening that astral layer, and you can receive 2 more breaths. And then the guides are really saying to sit with for
Hold on, we got a lot of stuff going on
Welcome to
here.
Zoom. Enter your message.
Popular call. I can't even find the person.
you had some noise in the background. That's what we're talking
All
about,
right,
though.
there we go. I think
And we
Shelley's
can
trying
put
to
up
get
our
to us.
rose frequencies
Okay, there
when
we go.
perfect. So, Kit, sometimes they're like calling the roses, have them vacuum and then push them out, explode them. They're wanting you to really sit with the rose, sit with the Palo Santo, sit with Mother Mary, and just know how beautiful you are and how miraculously this relationship is going to unfold, and that you can command this full clarity in your energy field.
Thank you. Thank you both so much.
Mm,
How are
wow.
you feeling?
Um, tears and joy, tears and joy, profound expansion and safety. Beautiful. Thank you both so much.
Mm, thank you so much. God, sending love. This is great. I
That's
love
the
it.
heart expansion, tears and joy, my favorite combo.
So how are you feeling about the future, Kit? Like just kind of in your energy field as you think about, just moving forward. How are you feeling right now?
Like it's an open field, not a yellow brick road, but it's a white blue brick road out in front. No obstacles. Thank
I,
you.
I love it. Yes. I feel very much like Hillary, you just bring forward so much beautiful energy for people to not just, move to a new path, but feel their body actually like in the same alignment. Like it's one thing to say, I really want things to be different and have that desire. But when our energy fields, when our auric fields match what we are wanting, now you have this congruence and now you have everything kind of aligned. It's incredibly, incredibly powerful. So I love it. Shelly, do not worry. I know you want to get some time. We're going to see, and we're going to get to your question. So submit it. Hillary, I want to get to more questions from folks. I know this is very, very pertinent to what people are going through right now, but I know that we're going to be doing a process today. And one of the processes I think that we're going to move into is an astral layer rebuild repair to help us begin to align into a more healthy state. So tell us what we're going to do. And whenever everyone's ready and Hillary's ready, we're going to embark on this starting first step to rebuilding and repairing this astral layer. And as you know, there are 8 layers. So we're going to start working on what we can here today.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to it. And through this whole call, actually, I have one hand on one big crystal and the other hand on another. And before the call, I asked the Arcturians to connect with each one of us that are open to that connection and for me to be able to flow that energy from them, but also the whole team where Archangel Michael works with the aura repair, Kuan Yin, Mother Mary, the Palladians. There's a whole team behind this. So I'm really looking forward to going into this group transmission where we will receive these frequencies. So, everyone listening, if you are in a space where you can open to receive and really become present with these energies, what I was shown was when we rebuild this astral layer, how beneficial it is for our nervous system, for the vagus nerve, and we're going to go into that process. So I invite you to receive a breath. And as you do, you can begin to notice any place where your boundaries may feel weak, any place where you may be holding on to energies that do not belong to you. So I want to invite you to tune into that. Tuning into the 7 layers of your energy field. And now the starship Athena has triangulated to beam down the aura repair crystal chamber consciousness all around you. As this crystal chamber consciousness connects with you, these fields of living holographic crystalline liquid light, these fields of light begin to instantaneously harmonize all 7 layers of the energy field. And we call in now 100 soft pink roses into this 5th layer, into your astral layer. The astral layer is where, when there's issues in this layer, some of the physical symptoms can be issues in the gut brain, issues in the heart brain, issues in the limbic system, feeling reactive, anxious, mentally foggy, digestive issues. So as you breathe, these 100 soft pink ray roses are working like a cosmic vacuum. The frequency of the rose is so high that it knows what energies are not for your highest and greatest good, and it begins vacuuming them instantaneously. And the other frequency that goes along with this astral layer aura repair is the Palo Santo frequency, the holy wood, which is also incredibly clarifying. And the Arcturians are asking you to notice if any part of the astral layer feels any sense of weakness, and they're going to begin, and I will work with them with the Vogel wands, channeling and sending in the photon plasma, the crystalline liquid light to repair as the rose and the Palo Santo vacuums and clears. Simply breathe, allowing the awareness of the energy field, allowing this beautiful step forward as you receive a few of the frequencies of the aura repair, intending and aligning with your highest benefit. And these holes, the tears, the weak spots in the astral layer are being sealed and strengthened. And every astral layer is growing larger in this moment, with the soft pink ray moving through the etheric roses, benefiting your heart chakra and your vagus nerve. Receive 3 more breaths. Tuning in to where in your energy field you may have not felt safe enough to fully unwind into your body's innate healing mode. And what would support that deeper safety? As we say a prayer, set an intention for the highest protection of your energy field. Receive 3 more deep breaths. These soft pink ray roses have vacuumed a lot of energy that you've picked up on while astral traveling, a lot of that fourth dimensional consciousness of every thought ever thought. 1 more breath as they're completing their vacuuming. We'll now thank these 100 soft pink ray roses, collect them up, push them 1,000 feet out of the energy field, explode them into golden fireworks. As Mother Mary brings that soft pink cosmic light all throughout the astral layer. And that soft pink cosmic light entering into the vagus nerve, entering into the autonomic nervous system. Receiving another deep breath, becoming aware of how you're feeling. Becoming aware of the possibilities. When you're ready, you can exhale. Receive another breath, expressing your gratitude for this moment, for this support. After your next exhale, maybe you want to gently wiggle the body a little bit. Receive another breath in, and then gently open your eyes. Mm. And when you're ready, I would love to hear how you're feeling.
Slowly coming back. Wow. Everyone, let us know what you're feeling. What's going on? Hillary, it feels like these layers, certain ones that we got to work on, it feels like they're just so expansive. And it feels like there's this pillowy, soft, vibrational energy layer around me and some of these different aspects of the aura. And it feels very like soft and nurturing. And my body's kind of calm, almost like resting on a pillow, like resting on a beautiful, like floating energy. So I can immediately feel this in the body. And it feels very different than just kind of that. I don't know how to explain it. It just feels like very much like there's a gentle hum that's sort of bringing everything into a different resonance, like a different field, a different reality. So very nice feeling. I love it. Let me see what y'all are feeling, sharing, experiencing. Got over 20 people that have been writing in since I kind of zoned out. 23 now. It's just flooding in as people slowly come back and have this new experience of the astral layer rebuild, right? Calm and peaceful, says Jill. Melinda, wow, intense, a lot of energy in the head, chills all the way through me, feeling much more peaceful than before. Exactly. Wow, says Lisa, this felt amazing. I really felt that, so soft, so lovely, so supportive. Lots of things going on. I could feel a lot of energy in my head. It was very strong. Wow, way more peaceful. Cleared something, says Richard. Katja, way more peaceful. Feeling hot, lifted up. Something hot lifted up out of the right side of my body. I don't know if there is any energetic interference with people, but Hillary, I don't suppose that's going to necessarily stay in the fields if we're doing something like this, right?
No, energetic interference, especially within
Wow.
this layer, is being cleared. And one of
Wow.
the comments I see, I feel like a puddle in a good way. I used to joke in this frequency, I feel like a puddle of love. You're a puddle of love. And what the Arcturians are sharing is that when we are responding to all of the stimulus outside of us, all of the energy of the body is trying to respond to the stimulus outside of us. When the energy field isn't holding us securely so that we're protected, because the aura will protect us when it's balanced and aligned and repaired, it will protect us.
Right.
Then all of the focus of the body can go within on healing. But all of these health issues is when we don't have that protection, that we're always on guard, that we can't
Yes.
melt into being the puddle of
Yes.
love, or then the body's like, oh, we're safe now. Let's make all of our systems go into healing instead of more on guard and more clearing the energies, and that never-ending cycle, which I know we've all had enough of, right? I had
Yeah.
enough of it, that's for sure.
Yeah, you've lived this, right? And this is what people are experiencing. I mean, it's like right across the board. It's amazing. We've had probably 30 different comments coming in. I smelled the beautiful scent of the flowers when the healing started. I felt the release of an unpleasant past life, which felt good to release. I feel so much gentler within myself. Thank you so much, Hillary. Wow, says April. Lots of stories coming in. I was very hot at first, then started cooling down as the energy was flowing strongly around my head. It's very calm now. I love it. I felt the energy expand like 6 foot out, says Sandy. Now I have a wonderful tightness in the top of my right shoulder blade. I have an area above my right eye where my puppy scratched me weeks ago. It hasn't healed. I could feel the energy actually flow over that area. So there are so many comments. I can't keep up. I mean, this is just amazing. And I gotta say, this is something, but I want to let everyone know Hillary has kind of like a special invitation to do something that we've never even seen done before. And I want to talk a little bit about it. But one of the things you're going to be doing is kind of like a 70 minute. Okay, 70 minutes. I don't know how long we went here, 5 minutes, but 70 minutes, semi private, special Arcturian chamber, semi private little mini groups where we're going to be activating, Hillary's going to be activating this energy and a lot more. Would y'all like to hear about this? Because I don't think this has ever been done before. It's pretty amazing. Would y'all like to experience kind of what we did today, but even more intimate, even more powerful, perhaps? We're going to be talking about it. Yes, yes, says Sandy. Yes, says Lisa. Yes, say so many. Hillary, I want to ask you about some of what you're doing, because one of the things that's going to be happening is kind of this semi-private, very special chamber that people get put into. It's an etheric chamber, and they're going to get to experience something, I think, that is going to knock their socks off. Lib says, yeah, I know, Lib. I want to see it too. Yes. Tell me about it, Hillary.
The Arcturians are really showing me how we're not meant to heal alone, that we're meant to heal together, and how much support we have in doing this when we come together. And that quote with Jesus, when two or more come
Yeah.
together, but what they showed me is they wanted to create a really concentrated crystal chamber light where up
Mm.
to five, it will be a maximum of five recipients. We gather. You get to share what your deepest intentions are or what the deepest challenge that you experience. And it's a 70-minute healing where everything that each one intention you all receive. The healing is multiplied times five, but really it's multiplied by over 5,000. We come together and in this very intimate way receive 70 minutes of powerful aura repair healing within the crystal chamber, focusing on whatever specific issue, a relationship issue, a health issue, physical discomfort, whatever the issue may be. We will work on that concentrated. And then I was shown in this because they kind of showed me a movie of what would be happening, that a personalized message will come through for each
Wow.
individual, or if there's a specific question that you'd like to ask. But it's a way to heal together where that healing, the concentration of that healing will be deeply amplified. It's going to be such a beautiful experience that will feel really personal, where you will receive the personal attention, but in this way that the group soul, the group energy field will really be amplifying it.
Yeah, I wanted to share that with everybody because one of the things that we've got that already looks like it's ticking away is we've got some like spots for the first 20 people that are going to be pretty discounted. And I want to mention it, and then we're going to keep going with questions. I know Shelly was writing in, wanted some support. We're going to do some wildfire Q&A stuff if you've got a question. But I want to bring this up because a lot of people want this energy, but they want to extend it to the whole chakra, all the layers, and much more, all eight. And so, what Hillary is doing, I wanted to mention this because it supports the beautiful work she's doing in the world as well. She's going to take a group of five into their own sort of Arcturian ascension chamber. So, they're going to be groups of five. It's never been offered before that I'm aware of on my show. Not like
Ever,
this,
anywhere.
ever.
I've
Okay.
never done
Anywhere.
it.
Oh my gosh. Okay. And what's going to happen is you're going to be in groups of five, and then you are going to be held in this nexus and for 70 minutes. So it's going to be actually pretty profound because what's going to be happening is there's recalibration for health, better health outcomes. There's benevolent frequencies based on where you're at. There's crystalline intelligence that connects to maybe what is your biggest challenge. And you're going to have some time to connect with each person a little bit, but then also pull back and the whole group nexus get the ascension energy. Tell me a little bit about that. There's five spots like for each group. I don't know how many in total they are, but this could definitely fill up. And we only have four groups. I'm going to say four groups of five for the early bird. So only 20 people are going to get the 177 discount. And then it's going to go up in price. So, really quick, Hillary, explain a little bit how each group's going to proceed. You're going to get the names. What happens next? What happens once the group is kind of live and you're with them? Explain it all. I mean, this is pretty cool. This is not necessarily like Hillary's just going to leave you there. She's with y'all. So this is going to be pretty intense. Tell me about it.
I'm really looking forward to this. In my connection, when the Arcturians connect with us telepathically in their holographic light bodies, and they showed me this, where we would get on Zoom, it would be maximum five people in the group, and they will have prepared a really ultra concentrated crystal chamber of healing, of ascension, of aura repair. And in that 70 minutes, it is going to be such a deep personal healing that will be amplified before we get on the call, on the Zoom, on the where we'll be live on Zoom together. You'll be asked two questions, just what your main intention is, and if there's a specific issue, like I want to work on my back or digestion or headaches, brain fog, whatever it may be. And that's what we'll concentrate on. But what the Arcturians are saying now is It's 70 minutes live on Zoom, but if you choose to receive this, it will be 24 hours in the crystal chamber, that the energy
Wow.
will be activated for 24 hours, and then we'll have the 70 minutes live on Zoom. At the end, there will either be an opportunity for a personalized message for you to ask a specific question or both, and it will be a really concentrated, where in that 70 minutes, it will feel like a really good amount of time where the crystal chamber master healers will be working on each person individually, and I will be as well. And that frequency will be multiplied because they're concentrating the light of the crystal chamber, where we come together in a group soul to really amplify and multiply that healing.
Wow. I love this. This is here. It is just a small part of what's going on. Tell me about the Ascension Pod, because that's a part of this as well. There's 40 minutes there. You're going to be doing group transmissions. And then in the final half hour, each of the 5 souls in the Ascension Pod are going to get an intuitive message or ask a question and an opportunity to do that. The Ascension Pod is it a crystalline structure that is kind of etherically formed around the people in the group? Explain a little bit more about that. It sounds very exciting.
Yes, so we will be able to astral travel each one of us directly into this ascension pod or crystal chamber. But then that frequency, like I explained, these fields that are kind of a foot to 2 feet, these holographic fields of living crystalline liquid light will form all around each individual. So it will be double. It's such an individual healing, but that is amplified by the group and us all holding intentions for each other's highest healing. But then that personal time too, where if there's a message coming through from one of your guides, the Arcturians, or if you have a specific question that you wanted to ask, each person has that personal time as well too. And what I'm
Wow.
hearing is there will be ahas from other people's questions, from other people's message, that recognizing you yourself in the other and the other's intention, in that the maximum of 5 in the group, but the other's intention, you will be receiving that healing as well too. So it really will amplify in such a beautiful way. It's a group soul healing, ascension healing on anything, and really boosting up, expanding, strengthening the energy field.
I love it. I want to share a little bit more about where this is. It's at uwealthrevolution.com. It's all new. It's called the Arcturian Autonomic Aura Reset. And this is all new. And as you can see from the image, is a totally different way of living in this reality. I mean, that's really the key. It's like, and we ask it every day at UWealth Revolution, how do we exist in this world, stay vibrant, stay healthy, stay on our path, not suffer the breakdowns, not get drawn into these karmic challenges, not have things attacking our energy field or auric field. And now we've identified through Hillary's brilliance and the Arcturian's guidance these 8 layers. And we know now exactly how each of them can affect our health, affect our reality, affect how we ascend through our timeline, and whether we live our best life or whether we just struggle in the same pattern again and again. And I love this because it is all about supernatural help. And I want to talk about it. It's not just even about the pods. There's even much more. And Hillary, package B, for those that want to go deeper, is going to be the pods. And we've got some savings for the first 20. So we only have like 5, no, actually 4 groups of 5 that are going to get the discount. And then after that, the price will go up $20. But before that, for people that want to get package A, you've got some amazing things going on. I want to walk through this. And I said, you know what? I think this is such a bargain. I think that, gosh, for people to really receive it, I think it should almost be more. But the first 20 people are going to get package A, and it is quite amazing at a big discount of only $77 for package A. And the first 20 will get package B for $177. And that's where you have personal chamber help. But let's walk through package A and kind of everything that they were guiding you with this Arcturian autonomic aura reset. You know, when you were guided to do this, what was coming in? What was the reason? What was happening? Sorry for talking so much. I'm obviously excited.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I appreciate you greatly in all that you do. And this was one of the core healings. Again, when the Arcturians came to me and started training me in their healing processes and working within the crystal chambers, there were these core healings, working with the nervous system, which this supports the nervous system so much, and feeling
Mm,
safe to unwind. And what they showed me was there's a 7-step process for each layer of the aura. And then what started coming forward were there's specific frequencies for each layer, a specific rose ray, a specific crystalline frequency, a guardian like Archangel Michael, Mother Mary, Kuan Yin, and a plant or tree frequency like white sage or Palo Santo. And the 7-step process is to clear hooks, cords, attachments, these negative thought forms, anything that's unbeneficial. And how the audio transmissions work is that it's my voice guiding you like a beautiful meditation. It's a very blissful experience. Then each transmission has been encoded with so much healing. Each transmission has specific binaural beats and solfeggio frequencies for that layer of the aura. I went really deep. I did a ton of
okay.
connecting, and it's me guiding you through the 7-step process where it's really being done for you, where the Arcturian said this is a way that more people can receive it, that when you press play, the
Mm,
Arcturians will come to you, and the crystal chamber master healers, your higher self, my higher self, and all of the guardians, the specific guardians that came forward, like, I want to be the guardian of this layer of the aura, will come to you. These holographic fields of crystalline liquid light will form around you. And
mm,
by listening to the audio transmission, you receive the healing. There's around a 20 to 28-minute audio transmission for each layer of the aura. And then once you've repaired, fortified, aligned, strengthened each layer, the eighth is called the 7 layers of energetic protection, where it brings in the rose frequency, crystalline frequency, plant frequency, guardian frequency to strengthen each layer. This one I have done over 100 times.
wow.
Every time I'm going to be in a crowded place, every time I'm doing a big session. I've been doing this program again all week, and oh my goodness, it is blissful and so deeply healing. And again, the whole point is when the energy field is strong, fortified, protected, the amount of benefits that you receive, I could sit here all day and list 10,000 of them. But the main one is then the nervous system
Yeah.
feels safe for your body to heal itself. And it improves relationships, magnetism,
Wow.
abundance, everything that you can think of.
I can see that. I want to share some of these, and then we are going to walk through the different items. I know you went through them quickly, but I want to walk through because your work, your life's work, your creations are so amazing. I want to give them time. You know, you've given us so much of our help, love, support. You know, the help you've given. I want to now let people know what you're doing in the world. It's pretty amazing. But you are right. I mean, I'm reading through these. I've never felt this light in my body. My digestion improved. My joints stopped aching. I stopped having panic attacks. These all sound like nervous system, you know, nervous system imbalances, right? The body cannot get out of the fight or flight state. That was Melissa. My anxiety vanished. My digestion soul healed. The light I felt brought me back to myself. I feel my true energy again. I feel protected. Digestion is again, you know, there's a lot of digestion. My energy cleared. I'm channeling again, right? Major ouchies. You know, I had to get rid of that word because I try to be obviously careful, but ouchies, right? Ouchies in the back, ouchies in the joints. You feeling any ouchies? You're wondering, is it yours? Is it someone else's? Is it something else's? We got to move freely. So there's so many stories, and you're going to see them through the whole page. Package A, this is all at youwealthrevolution.com/Hillary, HILLLY. ARY30, Hillary 30. And what you're going to find there is option to get package A. And let's go through that. The first one you kind of mentioned was the etheric reset activation. Here, someone said, I finally feel protected around my family. The buzzing in my chest disappeared. I finally slept through the night. Says David, probably a big, strong guy, right? But no matter how strong we are, if we're dealing with energies that are affecting our aura, even Samson would go right to his knees in a moment, right? We cannot survive without the energy field being harmonious. No one, no living thing can, right, Hillary? Not
Yes.
optimally, right? I mean, you can survive, but it could be painful.
Yes, and that's the message I was getting too. Sometimes what I was being shown is if there's issues in the joints and the ankles, pain in the feet, that can represent issues in the lower part of the body. If there's issues with memory recall, headaches, issues in the head, that can be representative of the upper parts of the aura and the outer layers of the aura. Pain in the heart can be very representative of the astral layer connected into the heart. So it's
Wow.
really fascinating to see. My friend even shared that with me, and she's a really powerful healer and intuitive. And she said, I know you're going to be talking about it. And she received the program as well, and that she noticed that things would come up like in certain regions as a way to show it's time to strengthen the energy field around that region.
So you're going to be going through things like the etheric reset. Item 2 is the emotional body layer recalibration, activation, reclaiming emotional clarity, energetic sovereignty. And then item 3 is the highest mental body clarity activation. And just looking at this page, I got to send out to Michelle. Amazing job. Just looking at it, I feel like the peaceful, calm energy of the Arcturian. So just take a look. Clearing mental noise, restoring inner focus, astral body layer harmonizer. Tell me about this. This is pretty important because there's a lot of folks kind of, and this is what I warn against, like, don't hope that you hear some spiritual being give you wisdom. You want to be mindful of what you're connecting to. And oftentimes when you're like, I'm seeking an answer, anything could pop in an answer. You've got to be discerning. Just like the guy that's like, I'm a great healer and you're a piece of crap and I can't stand you and your show is, I'm like, bro, you're not connecting to something good, man. I'm sending like Christ light consciousness to you. Um, this is important because we cannot let things come in and affect us. And this astral body is where we can tap into things that could not be good. We can lose these spiritual boundaries, and that can cause a lot of challenges. Explain a little bit about that. Curses as well, all sorts of other things. I mean, this is a soup of stuff we got to be aware of if we're going to actually master our power.
Because everyone here, we're astral traveling while we sleep, and sometimes we're astral traveling to go assist in some bad neighborhoods, and we can pick some things up. And this can have such an effect on the heart chakra, the vagus nerve bundle all around the
Wow.
heart chakra. So each one of these,
Wow.
again, it's interlaid with the solfeggio frequencies and binaural beats to repair that aura. It has been blessed with so much frequency, and it is the 7-step process for that layer with the guardian within the crystal chamber. And I do so much prayer and intention when I work with my guides, and I am very particular about the guides that I work with.
Yeah.
People often share that they feel that my work is very pure and very clean. I get that word a lot. People have been doing spiritual work for 40 years. They're like, I did your transmission. It was so clean because
Yeah.
there is so much protection around it with the rose frequencies, the sage, the Palo Santo, that pure source light, Archangel Michael, where I put so much deep prayer and intention that I do not allow anything that is not of the purest frequency, that each person who receives the healing transmission personally, whether through the audio transmission and or in the pods, is held in so much love and protection. And Darius, I wanted to tell you how much integrity you have, and I'm sending you extra love for some of the things you are experiencing this past week. And thank you for the platform that you create for so many beautiful healers, because I know you have so many beautiful healers, and that you help them share their work. It really means the world to me. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I gotta say, all of this is here, and it's pretty amazing because you're talking about all the things, and as you're saying this, I'm having a lot of connections. That a lot of times things that are not connecting to the highest light will actually try to attack those that are. And actually, I got to be honest, the person that was like freaking out yesterday, he was looking at your page. Like literally, he's like, and I was like, man, these demons or whatever it was, right, was in this person. He was pointing out your page. So I was like, well, she must be onto something because she's right over the target, and this has just unleashed all this lower energy out of this person. And I blocked the guy, and I was like, hey, just don't talk to me anymore. But that's the thing, is like those that are not of the light, when you're coming in this pure space, you're coming in with all this energy, it's like they can't stand it, they can't process it, they don't want it to get out there. So yeah, that is a little kind of behind the scenes of my life. I'm like dealing with stuff, but we got to keep the energy high. We got to keep the light, and we've got to bring that etheric protection of the divine template into our reality. And that's what item 5 is about. And then I want to talk about this: replenish and fortify. A lot of people writing in, I could see my sparkle again, says Jennifer. I mean, that's pretty important, right? That sparkle is not something that you're just imagining. What is that sparkle, from the way you see it, Hillary?
It's the radiance of the aura field, how
Yeah.
beautiful someone's energy is, and you can see it. The sparkle will return to someone's eyes. You can feel it. And what you're sharing is so important that not everyone has the discernment to tune in. I've been meditating every day for over 20 years. I clear my mental body, I clear my energy field. I live a completely sober life and have for over a decade. There are so many things I do where this is literally my life, to live in the way to bring this purity of work. And not that I say everyone can do whatever they want. And I support everyone and I have no judgment. But that's why I really love working with the Arcturians, because they're the keepers of pure spirit. They're the highest dimensional, most benevolent, ancient, enlightened beings, that they know how to protect us. They know how to help us in our healing, and they want to empower us. And when some of these other people, or people just want to receive a message, or some of these
Yeah.
messages you've been bringing through, they're so important, because every time I don't normally go out seeking for it. It just, I'm in meditation and I'm not asking to create a program. I'm not asking to create anything, but guides will come to me and I will do my levels of discernment to ensure they are the purest, highest beings of light, and what is coming through is of the purest benefit. And then I'll develop that connection where they can start sharing these teachings and what they want to bring forward. But sometimes when you're just out looking for any answer, for any message to
Yeah.
come through, if it's not in the aligned frequencies with the prayer, with the intention, there has to be such a pure heart involved in this work, and a lot of humility as well too. It's very important.
100%. It's all here. I could keep going through these, but I think y'all realize this is just absolutely beautiful soul work. It's at uwealthrevolution.com/Hillary30. There's tons here, including Catheric template cleanse. And thank you for that word, catheric, which, if you were wondering about what that 8th level was and why that was so important, well, she's going to spend 22 minutes clearing this catheric template. And when this gets cleared and repaired and leaks are sealed up, what do people start to feel, Hillary? And then you even are going to get the 7-layer activation, energetic protection, and a lot more. So we're going to be talking about that. But tell me about this kind of catheric template cleanse. That sounds like I would just get the program just to have that, much less the amazing, like 5-person, Arcturian healing pods and all the other wonderful things.
Thank you. This is so fun. I'm having such fun. That's the best layer to repair. Each layer has so many benefits. I mean, the first layer, when that's strong, that's going to support the physical body and its strength. But the final layer, the catheric template, when that is strong and repaired, it makes the other layers so much more protected. That's when the energy field really expands. That's when you become more magnetic This layer is really our connection to God's source, our connection to the divine, our connection to our benevolent guides. And it is so beautiful to see. That's when people will really feel that sparkle return, when you have the strength of all of the rose frequencies, of the guardian protectors, of all of the beautiful tree frequencies, of the crystal chamber consciousness, of the Arcturian plasma photon shields around this
Wow.
layer. This is when every inner layer is supported. Every
Wow.
That final layer, the furthest out layer, feeds light into every layer. It's one of the most important ones to really repair and strengthen.
I love this. And, a lot of people are, say to me, Darius, when will the world get better? When will these things change? When will this person in the global scale not do this or this one not do this? And I say, I don't fully know, but I do know that you control your reality. You control your energy field. You control how your body's sacred temple has to interface with this reality and all the different dimensions that it can get exposed to. And that is through these 8 layers of the aura, which I just thought there's an aura. There was 8 layers. So if you cannot necessarily change the entire planet, you can begin to insulate, heal, and love yourself and let the energies of what Hillary's talking about affect you deeper. And this is what the Arcturian autonomic aura reset is all about. And if you are experiencing unexpected health and wellness declines, I mean, of course, see the medical professionals, make sure everything's okay. A lot of people do that, but they're like, I'm not getting better. I'm just still the same. It's one thing after another. Well, let's also look at the body. Let's look at it in tandem with what we need to do. Let's give these 8 layers their own checkup, their own healing, their own energy support, right? Let's look at ourselves as multifaceted beings, physical body, etheric body, energy body, and let's now bring it all together. And notice maybe what happens is you find yourself to be, again, like that person, you have the sparkle, right? It never left you. And I love that. Hillary, what would you say about that?
Oh, that's so true because things manifest first energetically. So when we care for our field, we're caring for our physical health, our mental health, our emotional health. Things get in first energetically. I've even been shown many times through this aura protection, people not picking up viruses and bacterias and catching so many colds and stomach bugs and things like that because things first connect with us energetically through the field. But when the field is really strong, is strengthened, is purified, when it has the exact frequencies that each one of the layers need, this is when we can focus on our own healing and focus on our mission and service in this lifetime because so many people get so bombarded that they're not able to do their self healing, that they're not able to do the
No.
healing work that they want to do in the world because they're overcome with the frequencies of the world. And this is really benevolent galactic support so that you can. I'm choosing, even if the world is suffering, I'm going to choose joy today. I'm going to choose
No.
happiness today. I'm choosing my highest alignment. I'm choosing to focus on my own healing. You have that choice instead of feeling so bombarded.
Yeah. And when you feel bombarded, guess what? Your body actually is being bombarded. And eventually it's kind of like, the roof of your house. Like it can take a lot of hits of hail, but eventually, those shingles start to get damaged. And eventually you have leaks. And so this is kind of a reality check. There are things out there that do not want you to have a great life. They want your marriage wrecked. They want your health wrecked. They want your body wrecked. And we have to just say, no, enough is enough. We are strong, sovereign, and we're going to hold our template. And we're going to be the sovereign divine beings to live the glorious, wonderful, Christed life that we were designed to live. And you got to just bang, put your foot down. It's okay. Just like me, I'm blocking that dude. I send you in love. You're blocked, buddy. Don't have to get angry, but you assert your sovereignty. So, Hillary, for a lot of people that don't know how to do that or how to actually repair what's been damaged, like happened to you, right? All of that trauma, this is the roadmap. And it is truly amazing. So, everyone, check it out. So, youwealthrevolution.com /Hillary30. And Hillary, any thoughts or anything coming forward maybe the Arcturians want people to know or be aware of right now? Because I know we've done a lot. I mean, this has been mind-blowing, but anything else coming forward for folks?
Being in the sovereignty in each one of the transmissions, there is a cord dissolving and alchemization, a cord cutting with Archangel Michael with the Arcturians, but being in that sovereignty when there are thought forms and there are energies that you're really feeling like you're not yourself. It is probably not you. And even
Yeah.
working with, I cut the cords and I consciously choose to disconnect from this energy. This is not what I'm choosing. Like though a few weeks ago and connecting in because I was a bit overwhelmed in these thoughts of like almost a full day of like I hate my life. These are not my thoughts. I don't think things like that. And then I consciously choose to disconnect from it. And then I was shown all of this
Mm.
fourth dimensional frequency of how many people are thinking that thought, and my overwhelm kind of left me a little bit susceptible to that. But
Yes.
then standing in your
Yes.
power, I'm not choosing
Yes.
this, and other things make us susceptible, a relationship issue, the health issue, the whatever it is, because I was like something like this has not happened for a long time. What was going on? And that was the message I got. There were a lot of things going on. Me and my husband were buying a house actually, and there was so
Oh,
much going
wow.
on that for the first time ever, and there was so much going on that that overwhelm and being around so many people, all the realtors, all the house people, just a different kind of
Mm.
a different way of being for a moment there with nonstop phone calls and all these things to do left me susceptible. But they're saying if you can become aware of things that could lead you susceptible when you're maybe around a negative person or you're over giving or whatever it may be, and consciously choosing, because the Arcturians always share that with me, how we have the conscious choice. Like I'm choosing the highest vibrational thought to support my body. I'm disconnecting. We have the power to disconnect to what is not in alignment for us. And there's a lot of it out there right now. So we have to be, my
Yes.
husband always says, like a brain ninja of being aware and choosing what's in our highest reality, because we are the ones
Mhm.
creating that reality for ourselves and for
I
the collective.
I love it, and you say it so well. Absolutely, these things open the door, and we have to have the tools to release it and become ourselves back to the sparkle, back to the energy that we've always been. So uwealthrevolution.com/Hillary30. And if you are feeling like things are declining, you can't figure it out, afraid auric field can actually keep your nervous system in fried and in overdrive mode. And then our body also goes to fried and overdrive. And that's not good. And the other thing is, we do not connect to our spiritual gifts. We can stay away from the higher timelines that are here to make our life beautiful, glorious, talented, activated with psychic gifts, with intuitive abilities, with our true golden timeline, as I like to call it. Everybody has a golden timeline, right? The highest idealized life experience that you chose to experience on earth, but you've got to get there. And there's an energy path. And that is not a broken, frayed, corrupted, wrecked aura with all sorts of things going through it. You've got to reclaim it. And Hillary, you're a master at doing this for people. You had to do it in your own life for your own health, and you've done it. And so I just want to say thank you for being here. And lots of comments coming in too. I'm going to say I smelled the beautiful scent of flowers when the healing started. I'm very hot first, then started cooling down. I'm very calm. I felt the energy expand like 6 feet out. My aura is definitely feeling more harmonious. My crown is burning. I can't keep my eyes open. Very gentle, releasing. Mahalo, mahalo, mahalo. A lot of good stuff going on, Hillary. This was amazing.
Yay. I'm so
Yay.
happy.
Love it. Oh gosh, we're gonna have fun. You guys are gonna be so perfectly aurically balanced and empowered. You're gonna be super masters, and you're gonna spend time in this personalized Arcturian chamber. So check it out. It's at uwealthrevolution.com/Hillary. That's two L's, HILLARY 30, and get your semi-private group work with Hillary, and this is in the chambers. It's Arcturian crystal chambers reset to rebalance, restore your body and aura to deep tranquility. And if you're one of the first 20, you're going to get a big discount. These are already going fast. I'm getting updates from my team, so grab them and be in the chamber. And Hillary, thank you for being here. And anyone we missed, I'm so sorry. We've been bombarded today. Just to let you know, a lot of people resonating. So we thank everyone and we thank you, Hillary.
Thank you so much for this time today. Thank you everyone for this moment that we have had together. I'm so grateful and I'm just shining extra of that crystal love to all of you.
Absolutely. And if you need any support getting your order through or making sure everything goes smoothly, Diane is on, and also our dear Cheryl. She's here to help. We're here to lead those people that want support or want acceleration to go into Hillary's world and be a part of it. It's amazing. So thanks everyone. And Hillary, I'll let you just send everybody off in love, and we'll close out with your beautiful voice and essence. And we'll leave the crusty dude aside. So any final messages you want to say?
How much support there is for you, that we have so much support from the angelic realm, from the masters, from the benevolent higher dimensional star beings, that any interferences or any energies, they're outmatched by the light that is awakening within you and this entire planet. I'm sending so much love, prayer, and blessing for you, and I appreciate you, your heart, and all that you are. Thank you so much for your time and presence today, and I look forward to connecting soon. And thank you, Darius, for everything that you do, dear soul brother.